You sure? So don't let these people constantly try to wrap you up in fantasies that cannot be proven in reality. That is another part of the sociological experiment to separate the original man from the original woman. Because if that Henrietta Lacks DNA hook up with that eternal Perry DNA, then you know what you're creating? God. You're creating more and more and more and more of them. That means it's less and less and less and less of the other people, right, that's going to exist. And that's a problem. So they got to find a way to shut you down with that. So that's what they did. So within that, as you can see, the eye of so-called Heru, or what they also call the Wadjet, is also on the inside of your brain. You see that, right? So ask yourself this. Who cut the brain? Who was the first one to cut the brain open for us to be able to see it like that? And who decided to then take the image and turn it into an amulet? I'll tell you, the people who wasn't born with it like that and decided that they needed to make physical amulets out of us to be able to wear on them, to be able to internalize some of the power that they have, that we innately have. There's a book you should get called The Delectable Negro. Get this book and read it. They literally consume you. I paint, right? I'm a fine artist, I paint, do oil paintings and stuff. I once came across a color called Mummy Brown. And I was like, this is crazy. How do you come up with Mummy Brown, right? So I get the Mummy Brown and I research it. And I found out that during the time that the so-called invaders in the late 1800s, right, started to go into Kemet and the pale Arabs needed money, they would go and they would dig up mummies, right? And they dug up the mummies and the so-called newly minted, I don't call them Caucasians, but the newly minted Circassian people that have now taken the place of the original black nobility, they are now the ones walking around that, and they decided that what they were going to do is they was going to start taking the mummies and eating them. And they started to eat the mummies. They started to make soup with the mummies, and they got so many mummies. They was excavating so many of them. Europeans was trying to pay so much bread for them that these so-called pale Arab people was literally digging in the sand with their hands to find these mummies. Once they would find them, they would take them, and then they would take them, ship them back to Europe. Then they would take them into their secret societies, do rituals with them, eat them, boil them, turn them into paste, turn them into paint. Then they would get people like Picasso to come get the paint. He would put it in the painting. So all the red that you see in the Picasso paintings, that's mummies. That's your ancestors. That's now art in the Louvre and all. Right? But they never taught this to me in art history class. You understand? So you are valuable. This is why melanin costs more than palladium, more than gold, more than silver. You understand? $4, last I checked, it was $4.38 a gram. Right? So now imagine this melanin now that's now infused with this gold coming out this volcano. You understand how much it then let's say you haven't been vaccinated, right? Let's say that didn't happen. That means you're really a pure human at this point. You understand? So now your melanin, your essence costs more than that Lexus, than that Cybertruck, than everything. You understand? That's why they want us to devalue ourselves. Right? So, like I said, when I first started, you would be hard pressed to find any image on Moors or whatever. And you get, again, they're Arabs, they're Africans, they're not you people from over here, right? So like I said, after years, not, because I never really had to debate my own people, because I'm not going to debate a foregone conclusion. My debates when I was coming up was going at these crackers in the library, in the bookstore, on the street, in the college. You understand what I'm saying? In the courtroom. You did? So once I started to see that, we're having a real effect. Because the prophet said, Noble Yahki again said, you know, I'm going to make the European tell you the truth. And then one day, I come across a video or something or whatever, and it was this phenotypically Caucasian gentleman, and he was really going in on how the Moors was this and how the Moors was that. So now I researched this guy's named Peter Moon. So now I'm researching some more, and I'm finding out, oh, he was in the Montauk Project. And then he had a whole little clique. Then I found out, do you know that this is something called the Moorish Orthodox Church? Then I researched that, and I'm like, well, how was all of these white men named Bay and Il and Abdul and Hakeem, and what the hell is this? So then I researched that and find out, oh, this connected to Tim Leary, who was CIA. Then this is also connected by way of Tim Leary going all the way back down to California through the JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory. That led me to Jack Parsons. Then from Parsons, that led me on a rabbit hole, researching L. Ron Hubbard. Then from L. Ron Hubbard took me right to the devil himself, Aleister Crowley. I was like, oh, okay. So this Moorish Orthodox Church is just y'all version of the Golden Dawn, just with a Moorish caftan on it. Okay, I see what y'all doing. So